well, okay, but I'm selling my house. When am I going to get that?
Yeah,
Well, by the way, if you are selling, you're going to buy another one, right? Probably.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
And at one point I want to go back to the pre-approval too, because there was something, actually I wanted to talk about that first, because we were talking about pre-approvals and we're sort of on that same track. One of the things that I noticed, and this does talk to me as a listing agent as well, with pre-approvals and the amount that people are asking for with the pre-approval. I have to tell you, Bill, I sort of chuckle as a listing agent when I get the pre-approval for the exact amount that the person is putting the offer in on the house. So I have a listing on the market for $425,000. Someone puts in an offer for $400,000. They give me the pre-approval that basically says, oh, I'm approved for a $400,000 sale. So I look at that two ways as a listing agent. I'm like, oh great, they're pre-approved. Immediately I know it's a lie. Yeah, they shouldn't be looking at this house. If they can truly afford $400,000, then they really shouldn't be looking at this, because I don't think that they have, you know, a little bit of a risk if anything should happen or come up.
You're shopping in the wrong store. Okay.
Yep. Exactly, but chances are the loan officer that they used, and Bill and I have had conversations about this in the past too, probably said you don't want the seller to know.
Aha.
Yes.
See, I'm of the other opinion.
Me too.
That basically, that when I do a pre-approval for somebody, that I sit down and we have it as one of my prospects is giving me a come to Jesus meeting.
Come to Bill meeting?
And basically, no, it comes down to, can you really afford this payment? And I don't care what the automated underwriting system says, you know, let's talk about this. How are you physically going to write this check every month? And if they say, yes, I can do it, okay, fine, you know, and I'm comfortable with the whole thing, and let's say that that particular situation is that they can afford a $450,000 house, okay, and they want to go look at her listing as 425. I am of the opinion, and I've had this go around with a number of realtors, that basically I'm going to give them the pre-approval. It says 450. As far as I'm concerned, that puts me as a buyer in a better position, because you mentioned earlier, if I've got three pre-approvals sitting in front of me, and I've got two that say 425 and one says 450, and they're all offering the same price, I know that the guy that's 450 is an overqualified buyer, and he can comfortably buy my home.
And what
as
I do
opposed to the person that's on the edge.
Yeah, and as the buyer's agent, that's what I say. I say, and with people who just meet me, they have a hard time with this because they feel like, oh no, the seller's definitely going to know I can afford more.
So what?
I prove to the listing agent, as a buyer's agent, I prove, you're selling your house, I prove to you, because chances are your agent may not have, with comps and statistics, the value of your home. So I easily say to the listing agent of the other property, just because your house is listed at this amount, or just because my client can afford that much, does not mean your house is worth that much. We're basing it on the fact of what the value of your house is.
So what if they know? I mean,
exactly.
Two adults making a decision whether you do it or you don't do it.
Yeah, nobody's pushing the arm of the buyer that says they have to spend with the numbers that I put in the pre-approval.
And I think that that way works a lot better. But I do have some new buyers that I'm working with, and they're working with a loan officer that they've had for years, and hey, that's good for you. He was the opposite thinking of me. So basically I said to my client, listen, I can explain the process to you. I'm in charge of the process. You are truly in charge of all the decisions. I will make it work either way, but I think you're better off doing it this way. And we did. We did it that way.
I had a realtor years ago that started out with that same mentality. Started up 400, then we're going to go to 410, then we're going to go to 415, then you go to 425. And the listing realtor, not the one that made me print the lower number, the listing agent called me and said, your credibility is shot. I don't know what the heck this person really qualifies for, because you keep bumping it up every time we renegotiate. And she goes, where's the end?
Exactly.
Hello.
That is interesting. So if you're pre-approved and you're within bounds of your pre-approval requirements, quote unquote, I call you up and say, let's go, and the process gets immediately unfolded. No surprises, delays, etc.
When we do a pre-approval, the property address we put in there is TBD.
To be determined.
And all we do is pull up the TBD and plug in the real address and plug in the real terms.
Okay. So this question, so our pre-approval guidelines are stricter, quote unquote, than that.
Sure.
Okay. But basically, once somebody's pre-approved, those are the rules before we go.
Yeah, I always tell people, you know, usually when they come to me for pre-approval, they don't have a particular house in mind.
Right.
Yet. You know, they're looking at a price range. And as Sharon can attest to, literally you can take a half a dozen towns around here and get the same price but totally different taxes. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I tell people is, I'm gonna take a house that is in, you tell me you wanna look in Marshfield, I'm gonna take the surrounding communities, and I'm gonna look at that price range, and I'm gonna look at a half a dozen different houses, get a good idea as to what the taxes are. So I may put in a little bit higher tax number in there, but make sure that when you're in the negotiations of that particular house, tell me what the taxes are for that particular house.
Yeah.
Now we're getting closer to what's the real interest rate gonna be, what's the real payment's gonna be. And the same thing with insurance. I'm not an insurance professional, but I've been doing it long enough to realize that the insurance is gonna be more on a house that was built in 1900 than a house that was built in 2000. Okay, so, I'm gonna factor in this so that you get a better idea, so you don't have to be surprised. Wait a minute, the payment's $100 more than I thought it was gonna be. Because the house is, 110 years old, it's gonna have higher insurance on it. So,
Yeah, and I think with the pre-approval letter, I almost like it when the pre-approval is more than the listing amount. Because, and then I can really focus on, my client clearly can afford this house. I mean, they are a
Yeah.
strong buyer.
Yeah, I mean, as the seller, you're gonna know that, because your listing agent is gonna protect you, but making sure that they have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're taking that approach as a buyer, you definitely have to be in the mentality of you're willing to walk away. Because the seller will see that and will try to push you more. And I always
They
tell
can afford, but they can afford.
but they can afford more. They can afford more. So that's when it's the definite number, like the list price.
Right.
It almost is like, oh, let's just try to push them up as high as we can.
Yeah, okay.
When the number is higher, it's much easier for me to say, well, no, just because they can afford more doesn't mean the value of your house is more.
From a